Today's guest has appeared on The Ellen DeGeneres Show, The Today Show, CNN, the National Geographic Channel, America's Got Talent, and more. But he's been accused of making a pact with the devil because of what he's famous for. He can read minds. His abilities are so powerful, so strong, that he's been paid to travel and perform in 82 different countries around the world. And he's ranked one of the top mentalists in the world. Not only do we get to hear about his crazy days in Hollywood, his rise of fame, and time with celebrities, but today I'm going to ask him if his skills are so impressive because he has in fact made a pact with the devil, or if it's because his psychology training and IQ are beyond the rest of us. But I'll let you be the judge of that. I'd like to welcome to the show Mentalist Wayne Hoffman.
What's up, everybody?
Yes!
So
Oh my gosh,
excited to have you.
I know. Thanks for being here. We've been talking about, your ears are probably ringing. We've been talking about how cool you are and how you're the real life Twilight, you could read people's minds.
I have a question for you. What is a mentalist? Can you categorize what you do?
Yeah, so that's a good question. It's essentially a mind reader, if you were to sum it up in one word. If you want to get more involved, it's a person who uses psychology for entertainment. We do demonstrations of, thought reading, predicting the future, which is called precognition, implanting thoughts into people's minds. So anything involving psychology to freak people out. I always say a magician entertains your eyes and a mentalist entertains your mind. I can do what I do over the radio. Whereas a magician, you have to see them and see what they're doing. But yeah, it's using psychology for fun. That's the essence of it.
I love it.
So you're a real life Sherlock Holmes then, right?
Yeah, some would say that. I mean, I use a skill set that I've developed over my career that is varied. And, there's a lot of deduction and reasoning and science and, sociology and figuring people out and involved in it. So you could say that.
Wayne, I feel like you say that. Okay, so I watched all of your stuff, by the way, literally binge watched and stalked you before this so I could prepare myself for this interview. And I heard you multiple times talking about how oh yeah, I went to school and I learned psychology and I've been training for this. And I'm yeah, he's such a fucking liar. He literally probably just signed something with the devil. And literally that's why he knows how to read people's, because I've seen what you do. And I'm how do you train for, there's no way you could train for that.
Yeah.
You are doing some insane things that are not worldly.
It's great and sad depending on your perspective on life. I've heard that before, but I did not make a pact with the devil. Isn't that right, Red? Anyway, so here's the thing with what I do. The sad part is nobody can really watch the training. You can't sit behind the you could watch a basketball player train or an Olympian train. With what I do, because it's secretive, you really can't watch the process. And a mentalist, I asked him years ago, before I got started in it, I said, hey, how do you become a mentalist? And his answer was, you can't be a mentalist until you've been one for a very long time. And at first, during that time, I was what is this guy on? Is this the sound of one hand clapping type of stuff? What is this dude talking about? But now I get it. Because over time, you just stack up these little things, these little gems of knowledge, if you will, that essentially give me now, decades later, a toolbox that I rely on. And everything that I do is circumstantial. So if I look at a person and I'm trying to do something with them, I have to say, how old are they? Where are they from? I listen for a regional dialect, an accent, if I can figure out where they're from. Are they drunk, buzzed, sober? Do they believe in what I do? Do they even know what I do? Have they seen me on TV? Is this a casual interaction? Are we going to be sitting here for an hour, or is it I got to do something really quickly? So I take all of these things into consideration, and then I reach in my toolbox and use a set of skills that I've learned. I choose one of these tools and use it in the moment. So it's seemingly psychic. So I totally get what you're saying about, you have to have a pact with the devil, because I'll be frank, it looks that way. I mean,
yeah, it sure
and that's
does.
the whole thing. That's why it's entertaining, because you
Right,
couldn't
exactly.
fathom of how this stuff is remotely possible, but that's the whole idea.
Funny thing about the devil thing, though, is how many times have I made you do something, or dude, Wayne, you got to do something. You got to do something. And then 10 minutes later, it's especially like for some reason, black people, our black friends would be like, oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. I'm done. Like, he's the devil. I'm not even like, they were like, dude, I'm never hanging out with that guy ever again just because you blew their mind. Remember the time that we were at Sunset and Vine? We both lived at Sunset and Vine Apartments in Hollywood, right? And we were all at the pool hanging out, right? And everyone's drinking, having a good time, partying. Nobody knew what was going to happen. Hey, hand me some, beer cans. One's a Bud Light, one's a Coors Light, right? Are you guys done with these empty cans? He's like, which one should I refill with my mind, right? They're both empty. How about the Bud? So he throws one. This one's empty, right? There's nothing in it. He's like, you just got to use your mind a little bit and you got to, just recap it. Then you can get it cold again. All the dents start coming out. And then you just turn it around a little bit. Here, hold me a cup. Boom, he starts pouring a beer. He just literally went from an empty beer can to a full beer in the can, poured it into the cup. And everyone was just going nuts. And it was like, there was no planning. I'm like, that guy's freaking amazing. Do you remember that?
This is true. True story. Yeah, I am useful at parties.
Oh, the best.
The stuff that I'm into, it's not just mentalism. I've studied hypnosis. I've studied escape artistry. So I can get, my record is about 5 seconds for both cuffs to get out of a set of handcuffs. So completely free in 5 seconds. I've studied that. I've studied gambling, card cheating, gambling demonstrations, sleight of hand, illusion, on and on and on, all of these things. So when I'm, that's the fun thing about, performing for people. When I am doing stuff, I don't tell people what thing I'm doing. So if I'm performing, I'm not going to say this is an illusion or this is body language reading or this is hypnosis. So when people are experiencing it, they're like, what is happening? Is this real? Is this fake? Is this a trick? Is this real? So I call my show Mind Candy, the first, Ticketmaster publicly ticketed show, because it's just mind candy. Whatever I do, it just messes with your mind. But yeah, true story, refilling beers at the pool.
I thought about Wayne because of the premise of the show and, the being in Hollywood and he's not in Hollywood anymore. Now he's got kids and he's got a wife, right? So we had a pretty wild, different life. This was 15 years ago, right? But what's so fun about it's not always it's like I said, he could do everything, Matt. He could do magic. He's an illusionist, right? But I'll never forget. Do you remember the time we went out? It's probably when, I don't know if you still drink like you did back then. I mean, occasionally. You weren't even a big drink, but here's the story. We went out to a club that I was promoting at. It was called My House. And it was me, you, I think David Dollar was there and whatever. He was drinking and, we were all drinking, having fun. He asked this girl for her number. I think this is how I remember it. Something about asking her for her number. In fact, you know what? I don't even have you to tell me what your number is. I can just know your number. But then he did something like he got a napkin. He got and maybe I'm telling this lower on. This is what I remember. He got a napkin and a lighter, lit the napkin on fire, lifted up her arm. Like, what are you doing? He brushes the napkin on her arm and somehow her number appears in ash on her arm. And the thing, it's even better because the next day when I told him about that, I'm like, I just can't believe he did that. He's like, wait, I did that?
Yeah.
He's like, I don't even remember doing that. He's like, I don't even know that I could do that anymore. It's been so long. He didn't even remember. So he did that in a blacked out state of mind.
That's awesome.
Really? A number on her arm?
I recall this. Yeah, it was out. I remember where we were standing too. It was out by the grill in the back, in the back of the place. Yeah, it was one of those things. I remember being there and things happening. The thing is, when it comes to certain things, back in the day, man, hanging. By the way, if you're watching this and you've never hung out with Davin,
sad for you.
We're in Hollywood in that era when we were hanging out. It was just, I can't even, you're the only person that leaves me speechless, sir. And I'm a man of many words. So, we were having fun back in the day. And I remember, I'll be frank. I think that era really tested me and let me know the boundaries of how hammered I could get and still be able to read minds and levitate things and make things disappear. I realized really quickly there is a limit. You're hanging out with this guy and partying and on these clubs in Hollywood. And it's like, I would hit a limit where I'm like, yeah, I'm not functional. I can't read minds anymore. Yeah, it was. We'll call those the training grounds. Now she had a question, so I'm gonna let her chime in. What was the question you wanted to ask?
I also did a lot of partying with DJ in Hollywood for like a decade. So,
So
no, I do know. I wanted to ask you what made you want to study this, and like, were there particular like illusionists or magicians or influences that you had that pushed you into this field? Because it's entertainment, but you have got to be like stupid smart to make this work. So you must be super educated and also inspired in some way, right?
Yeah, so in the early days, I was always interested in the mysterious. So if it involved aliens and UFOs, there were these TV shows, The Mysteries of the Pyramids and all these things. So I was always in that world. I loved mysterious things. And I was fortunate. I grew up in Reading, Pennsylvania. We are on the Monopoly board, the Reading Railroad. It's not the Reading Railroad, it is the Reading Railroad. Also the area where Taylor Swift was born. That's our claim to fame. And I grew up in this town, and there was a magic shop there. It's called the Mingus Magic Shop, and it is still there to this day. It's actually one of the oldest brick and mortar magic shops in the United States. And so I could go there. It was within bicycle riding distance of my house. So as a kid, I would go there and hang out because, like, there's wizards and mind readers and sword swallowers and hypnotists and all these people. Like, where else are you hanging out? I essentially had a Hogwarts, where I would go. So being around these people, and they would recommend books for me to read to teach me how to do these things. And the guy who owns the magic shop, his name is also Wayne, ironically. He could show me things, right in front of me and say, oh, no, hold it this way, or you do it this way, or write this down and turn it, or whatever, whatever I'm learning. So that really was the thing that sent me over the edge. Had I not had that magic shop and the ability to hang out with other mentalists, hang out with other escape artists, hang out with all these people, I don't think I would be where I am. I know I wouldn't be where I am and doing what I'm doing. But, after I got started there, becomes Teller from Penn and Teller said it best. He said, a magician or a mentalist like me is just simply someone who is willing to do more work to accomplish something than one would ever reasonably imagine. So it's in order to do one small, tiny thing, like to pull any tiny little thing off, you have to work extremely, extremely hard. That's why I think a lot of guys, little boys, men, little girls, they get into magic when they're a kid, but then you kind of stop because it's extremely difficult. Yeah, it's hard, right? When you're a kid, it's like, this is kind of too difficult to figure out. So you give up on it. But yeah, that was it. Going to that magic shop. And then now I do my own self-studies. I wouldn't consider myself extremely intelligent. I don't know what my IQ is, but I just am really passionate about it. I would do this if I wasn't paid for it because I did it before I was paid for it. I always say I haven't worked a day in my life. Like, I really love my job. Like, I just love it. It's not a job. It's not work-life balance at this point. It's work-life integration. It's the same thing. I just hang out and have fun and make a living doing it.
I wish more people were like you and were able to know like what they truly loved and what they were passionate about and were able to make a living at it, because the world would be such a better place to live in. Like, people would just be so much happier. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you. I'm not going to lie. I'm really blessed. Like, I don't take it for granted for a single moment, not one. Like, I got lucky, finding what I did, or what I wanted to do, I should say, and what I do before the age of 18, before I had any responsibilities, where I could really dive into it head first. I just, I pulled a good lottery ticket, I won. I got really lucky and I'm passionate about it. But yeah, I agree. I think, and I encourage people. I'm thinking about writing a book. The working title is The Buffet of Life, subject to change. I don't know what the title will end up being, but I want to write a book to teach people how to find that passion, because I think, we all think, oh, I got to just get a job and make money and pay the bills, but we're missing something, we're missing something. And it's exactly what you just said. It's people following their passions. I think you have to treat life like a buffet, and you have to go out and have a bunch of no thank you helpings and be curious and go out, pick up a guitar, pick up a camera, pick up, some accounting software, read a book on body language reading, go build something with wood and nails and wood glue, experiment with things and try new stuff, because that's how you're going to discover your passion. If you don't really know what your passion is, it's not just going to strike you like lightning. You got to go and play in the sandbox to find it.
You know what
Dude,
I would
I
say? Do
love
you think
that.
that anybody is actually like more born with a certain skill more than others? Because I remember like talking to you, I've always loved magic. I'd never left Disneyland. Like the only thing I would ever get leaving Disneyland is the magic shop. And I always knew I can get one magic trick there every time. I had the big, huge black magic book that I still have. I got my, my thumb and all my little gimmicks. My lights, throwing the lights back and forth. You know that. Every time Wayne will come over to Florida or something, I'm like, oh, look at this. Like, am I doing good? I love the gimmicks. Everything's a gimmick, right? That's me and Wayne's thing. Everything's a gimmick. But I
You
remember
are the
like asking
walking
you
gimmick.
too. But I would ask Wayne, I'm like, dude, so since you're like, I think that I could kind of be like, I'm like, I have this really crazy intuition. Like I could like I'm like cats, like I get cats. Like we could like, I could like figure things out. I have really good, and he's like, yes, dude, I already knew that about you. I could tell about that. You could really get, do good with, with this. And I could manifest things. Like I literally just manifest stuff, manifest life. Like, dude, watch this. People know if there's a lottery, a raffle, I'm going to win it, dude. It's like, I feel bad. I'm like just the luckiest dude. Oh yeah, he's right. He is going to win it. Guess what? There it is. I told you. As opposed to there's this same person in the room that's like, oh, I never win these freaking things.
Yep.
Never won once
Yeah.
ever in his life. And I'm like, dude, there's like, there's a power of the universe.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I'll tell you what it is. That is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Meaning,
Nailed it.
if you believe that you can create things or that you believe that you're lucky, guess what's going to happen? You're going to start manifesting things and start being lucky. If you don't believe in luck and you believe life is terrible, that's exactly what it's going to be. Your mentality on things is yes. That's going to be it. I truly believe that. I mean, I think I've led an extraordinary life because I just believe I can create anything and do anything and anything's possible beyond just my performance. I mean, when we're talking about life and love and business and success and, creating what happiness is, whether it's a skill set or whether it's creating something, in your love life, whatever the case may be. Yeah, your belief creates what it is that you end up experiencing.
Yeah, for sure. Wayne, I have a question. Do you feel like you're good at storytelling?
I believe so. Yeah, I think over time, and the reason is not because I'm just innately a good storyteller. I think early on, no, I was terrible just like anybody. But I do believe that over time, from performing on stage, I realized how important storytelling is. So, for example, there's a difference between a person who does tricks and a magician. Anybody can do a quick trick, but a magician will make you care about it. I believe the best performers, and I don't care if it's a comedian, a mentalist, I don't care what your art form is. If you're on a stage, I believe the best performers are the ones who can just go on a stage and tell a story and entertain the audience without even doing their craft, So yeah, I consider myself now through practice a fairly good storyteller.
So with that being said, can you tell us, because you've had such a fascinating life, you've traveled to over like 80 countries performing and entertaining people, out of your whole professional lifetime experience, what do you think is one of the craziest stories that you've experienced doing what you do?
Ooh, wow.
That you can share with us?
Wow. Ooh, you just unlocked Pandora's box. I mean, there's millions of them. There are millions
pick a
of
good
them.
one.
Okay, I'll tell you one that just popped to the top of my head because I'll never forget this. So I was performing through Africa, and this is 2012. Okay, so I was still living in Hollywood, and I flew to Africa, and I was in Togo, and I went to a suburb of Lomé, which is the capital city. Now, I had done research before going there because wherever I travel, if I'm traveling internationally, mind reading and things that I perform, they're taken differently in different countries. You know, if you go to Haiti or Africa or the Middle East, or, you know, people have a different view of what it is that I'm doing. So to some people, this is religious. Some people it's, you know, just
They think you're Satan.
yeah, exactly. So I go there and I had done research and I found out that there was a voodoo market in a village area called Akadesawa. And you can look this up. So I got a driver to drive me out. I forget, I think it was maybe half an hour away from Lome to go to this remote place. And I get out and it's the Marché des Fétiches, the fetish market or voodoo market.
Wait, fetish?
Yeah,
Is it called a
it's
fetish
the way.
market?
No, now don't get the wrong idea here. This is
Well, I am.
that type of market. Yeah, totally
Where's
different.
this story going?
Yeah, so oh man, that's a different story. But I go there and it is that's the way they what they call a voodoo market.
Okay,
And
translated very different in American.
yes.
Okay.
So I go there and there's these tables set up and they have snake skins and porcupine quills and elephant feet and cheetah heads and like the craziest stuff the craziest stuff you could imagine. Skeletons of these birds, like, and they're selling it because what people do is they go there and they buy these things and they burn it and crush it in a mortar and pestle, and they make potions out of it and rub it in wounds and whatever, whatever they do. And so I'm there and there is a voodoo priest there.
Wait, a
So
voodoo priest? I've
yeah.
never even heard of this before. What is a voodoo priest?
So you go in and they have these little bones and you go into this hut and there was a kid there with these huge leaves that he pulled from the tree and he's going like this, fanning us because it's just ridiculously hot. And he throws these bones and the bones are going to determine, things about my life. And I can purchase little totems. For example, one of the things I ended up buying was a small protection for traveling, and you carry this with you and it's magic. I don't practice any particular thing. I don't practice black magic or voodoo, so don't get the wrong idea here. This was for a cultural experience, and it was really to look at the roots of what magic and mentalism is. The roots of this goes back to the shamans and the medicine men and this type of mentality. So I wanted to really see what this was, the roots of performance art, so of magic and mentalism. So we go in and he throws these bones and he's like, wow. He's like, the spirits, are really favoring you. You got these 3 in a row, and these bones determine how much you pay for these little things that you bought. And he's like, look, they came up all 3 in your favor. Like, this is impossible. Like, this never happens. So anyway, we go through this ceremony, and I get these, I got one for love, which worked out, and I got one for travel. So far, so good. And I leave. And as I'm leaving, I turned to this voodoo priest and I said, "You've shown me your magic. Can I show you mine?" And he said, "Yes." And I said, "Gather your people." So all the villagers from all the tables that were selling all these voodoo things come around, they surround me. And, they're very poor. This is like, they're surviving by selling these things. So I pick up a pebble, like a little rock off of the ground, and I gesture to one of the kids. There's a language barrier. They don't speak English. So I gesture for this kid to hold out his hand, and I place the pebble in his hand, and he closes his fingers around it. And I start acting. Because like I'm on stage at this point, so I go over his hand, and I'm putting work in, man. I'm like, giving it, and I gesture to the kid to open his hand. I point and like this, and the kid opens his hand, and the rock magically.
Wow.
they want me to wizard these rocks into money. Now, what I had done was a simple sleight of hand trick, but they didn't know that. So then the voodoo priest, the head guy, pulls me aside and he's like telling the people, get away. And he pulls me over to this tree. And I'm thinking, I'm either about to become the king of Togo or I'm going to die.
They're going to hang you. You're like, I'm going to hang? Or
yeah, like, I don't know
you're
what's
like the
happening.
alchemist. There might be books from this moment on written about you for after, there was a guy that came in 2012.
Yeah.
And
so he pulls me over to this tree, and I genuinely, I'm not gonna lie, I'm nervous. Like, I don't know what's about to happen. I didn't think of anything. I thought this would be just simple, but the village is going nuts. So the guy looks at me, this older guy, he must have been in his late 70s maybe, and he goes, can you give me these powers? And I'm like, oh man, he wanted me to give him the power to do this. And I'm thinking, my brain's going a mile a minute. Like, what can I say? What happens if I say no? What if I can't say yes? Because I can't, So I said, well, I don't think I can do that because it's taken me a very long time to learn this. And he said, how long? I said, maybe 25 years. And he goes, too long for me. And then he let me go. And I got in the car, I think because he was pushing 80 and he knew he probably wouldn't be around to live to 105. So I'll never forget that. I think, and getting into what I do, I would have never had that experience. If I wouldn't have followed my passion, I would have never had that experience. I'd be working in a cubicle somewhere, and God bless the cubicle. That's part what makes the world go round. But, I chose this path, and it led me to have this wild experience in a voodoo village in Akadesawa. Like, I'll never forget that. And now, by the way, that's just one of, I could tell you guys a million stories. Like, I'll tease you a little bit. Being at the Playboy Mansion in front of 1,000 people, pouring Woodford Reserve whiskey into a glass, letting go, and the glass is levitating in midair while I'm pouring whiskey into it. Crazy stuff. Taking limos to Vegas and party, like just random celebrity encounters, and just like. I mean, even Davin, this guy, I walk out of my apartment. Again, we're living in Hollywood. I walk out of my apartment and this guy goes, hey man. I'm like, what's up? He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, nothing. What's up? He goes, want to be in a movie with Steven Tyler from Aerosmith right now? And I'm like, what are you talking about, bro? He's like, yeah, come on, follow me. And sure enough, like an hour later, I'm there in a black suit with Jane Lynch from
Jane Lynch,
Steven Tyler from Aerosmith, Matt Sorum, the drummer from Guns N' Roses, Kiss was in the movie, and I'm there acting in this random movie and stuff. So, I mean, again, I'll stop there, but tons of stories.
We talked about Sam Macaroni, man. He just passed away. I don't even know if you knew, but man, so devastating. But you know what's funny? So he can tell you some of these I have every single time. And I think I always kind of apologize to you, like, hey, dude, I'm sorry. But, I always want you to do something fun for anybody that I'm with. You're like the most fun person. Like, Wayne as a friend is the most fun friend ever. Like, he'll come to visit. I was working in Destin, Florida. Like, hey, yeah, just come. This is what I do. I work here, and this is my job. It doesn't feel like a job. Here's my manager. Dude, Wayne, you got to do something. All right. You see your watch, and what time is it? He's like, well, think of a number 1 through 60. All right, it just went ahead 30 minutes. Like, what are you talking about? You can quickly blow somebody's mind. So first of all, you got to blow their mind. By the way, while we're here, I'm hoping you're gonna do something. For Channon and Natty, definitely got to do something here.
We can do it. You want to do one now?
Yeah, let's do it. I'm
You guys
ready.
ready?
I'm scared.
I want to see the
Sweating,
magic.
but I'm ready. I've never been nervous.
So
Yeah, I'm like, Wayne, I'm sure you hear this all the time, but do people say I never get nervous? My heart was racing. I'm like, oh my God, because people get nervous around you because we feel like you can read our mind, in our deepest, darkest secrets. Thankfully, most of mine are just public anyway, but so I don't get as scared. I'm like, but go ahead.
only use this when I'm on the clock. I'm not constantly analyzing and reading people. It's not like I hear voices or anything like that. It's actually really, really difficult to do what I do. But yeah, I've heard that. People getting nervous around me. My wife just told me, I don't know if I'm supposed to be telling this, but I will anyway. She said when we first met and we first started hanging out, she would lay next to me and she would be there, and the whole time she and I never knew this. 10 years later, she told me this. She goes, when I first met you and I started falling in love with you, she goes, I would lay there and start thinking that. And she goes, but I would stop myself because I thought you could read my mind. So she said that she would go, watermelon, cantaloupe, watermelon, cantaloupe, watermelon, cantaloupe, watermelon, cantaloupe,
That's her
over
love
and over
heart.
in her mind, so that I couldn't read her mind and tell what she was thinking. So yeah, I mean, hey, I get it. By the way, everybody has stuff to hide. There's so many people that have things to hide. It's ridiculous. Like, it's not, you're not the only person that doesn't want all your intimate secrets revealed. But let's do something.
Wait, can I ask you one question before you blow their minds?
No.
Is there ever
Anyway.
a time?
No.
Is
Go
there
ahead.
ever a time when you're hanging out with me that you're like, Jesus Christ, dude, can I just like have like my moment to like not do anything? Because I'm always like, like we're hanging out, we're at the pool and everything, and all my friends, dude, Wayne, come on, dude, you got to give him something. You got to give him
Part
something.
of
I'm
the
just so
game.
proud of like,
Yeah, well, hey,
it's
listen,
just
I
the most fun
appreciate
thing in
it.
the world, and I always want, and that's why I always sort of apologize, but
No,
it's
no,
so
no.
fucking awesome. Like, how could you not like want to just like,
No, listen, I love it. I'll be honest, it's the ultimate compliment. Early in my career, I used to do things even when people didn't ask me to, because I was excited myself. Then it got to the point where people started asking me, and I realized, oh, this is overwhelming. Like, wow, I can't go out and just, have a night at the lounge or the club because people always wanted me to perform. But then I went through a third stage where now I realize, A, I love what I do. It's never, you're not never putting me on spot. Like I just genuinely love it. But second, if somebody claims to be a wizard, yeah, you're going to say, show me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, we're doing all this talk about how I read minds. Well, let's, or do these mental things. Like, yeah, prove it. Show me. So it just makes sense. And, if you enjoy it and you want to share that with the world, hey, man, I dig it. So let me, first of all, I need a participant in order to do this. So who wants to volunteer?
Nadia, do you want to go? Go
Fucking
first?
crickets. Did you hear that? Shannon's all excited and she's like,
Yeah.
no, I'm not going to volunteer.
Now, full
Sure.
disclosure, I won't try to get any deep, dark secrets out of your mind.
No,
They both
please
know my
do. Like,
secrets anyway.
please,
These
because
are my
I don't
two
remember
oldest
half of
friends,
mine.
so
So
we're
you'll
good.
help me.
No,
Well, no,
I'm
we'll
not
keep it.
scared of
We'll
you,
keep
Wayne.
it. We'll keep it. All right.
Go ahead. I'm not
So-
scared of you. We got this.
Here's what I'm going to do. Rather than trying to get something out of your mind, I'm going to try to put something in.
Okay.
Now, this is a skill set that I developed later in my life. I realized if I had difficulty reading a thought, all I had to do was implant a thought in someone's mind and then tell them that, and they would assume that they thought of it and that I read their mind. So it gives me another way to do what I do. So we're gonna try this. I was asked to be a guest speaker for the AT&T Cybersecurity Conference because I can figure things out. I can guess people's PIN codes. I can figure out your credit card number. I mean, I can any password you have is not safe around me. I literally can anything you can think of, I can figure it out. But here's the deal. I'm not the only person that can figure things out in a sense. It's all it is a bi-directional communication, okay? So let me show you what I mean. I have my phone. My phone is currently locked. Now, first of all, do you know my password?
No.
Of course not. And now for those watching, I just want to point something out. You have no idea what's about to happen. What we're about to do was not prearranged. I didn't ask you questions before the show and didn't tell you to email anything. There was no discussion about what I'm about to do, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and if anyone can prove otherwise, I'll give you $1 million. What you're about to see is real. So I want you to try to guess my passcode, okay? And I'm going to give you 2 tries. So just make up a random 4-digit number and say it. Nothing important, just a random 4-digit number.
2580.
25, incorrect. Try again. I'll give you one more guess.
7891.
7891. Incorrect. Okay. So you can see it's not going to randomly unlock unless you were the luckiest person in the world. You're not guessing your way into my phone. But here's what I want you to do. I want you to stare right into my eyes, and I'm going to implant the thought into your mind. I'm going to send you my passcode. Now, Natty, I want you to just clear your mind for a moment. Don't think about anything. I'm sending this directly to you and only you right now. When I send it to you, you're going to know that it's happening, but you're not going to consciously know it. It's not like in TV and the movies where all of a sudden you hear a voice or you know it. I'm sending it to you and you're just going to feel it. You're just going to feel like it's here. And then you're going to let your intuition just say a 4-digit number, okay? Ready? Say my passcode.
I have no idea.
Don't think.
Okay.
Just say it. Breathe. Right now, breathe. And just say it.
3, 4, 8, 9.
3, 4, 8, 9.
Oh my God. I just got chills. Are you serious? Oh my God.
Natty, you got the power.
That's so random.
Holy shit.
It
was
felt
crazy.
random, right? It wasn't like you consciously knew it, but you said it. So is it possible to implant thoughts into people's minds? I'll let you decide.
Well, hold on. This brings me to a question that I thought about the second when I started researching you. Now, a little backstory. I married a cop, a detective, and I also have a deep fascination with like criminal minds and FBI profilers. Is that something that are you ever asked by like law enforcement or maybe more like the FBI to weigh in on things? I mean, I understand that your knowledge would be circumstantial, so it's not like you can take it to court, but it could certainly help. Is that something you do? Do you consult that way?
So I've been asked to consult in a lot of ways. So law enforcement in that arena, have I been asked to do it? Yes, absolutely. In fact, the very first time that I was asked to do this is before I moved to Hollywood. I was doing a radio interview and, I was reading the DJ's minds. And when I go on tour, I perform at like corporate events and theaters and stuff. And when I travel around, I always like going on the local morning show, and not to promote anything necessarily. I just like it because it's cool. It's fun blowing people's minds. Like I said earlier, and I would have people call into the studio and I would read their minds over the phone. So I'm doing this, and then they took a call and they said, we have a guy on line 2 or whatever who wants to speak to you off air. And I'm like, what? Okay. So they said, when you're done with the radio show, this guy wants you to call him. So I'm like, what the hell? So I call this guy, and here, a long story short, a guy was murdered and he wanted me to help find the killer and figure out who did it. And that was the very first time that I realized, holy crap, like, I just do this for fun, but there's this whole other element to it. So I've studied interrogation techniques used by the FBI and all of these different skill sets that you can learn, because it's just, that's all I do day in and day out. So yeah, there is an element that allows me to do other things. I've been asked to come in on multi-billion with a B merger and acquisitions meetings to act as a consultant, where I'm reading the other side, listening to what they're saying, and then stepping into the hallway and telling him, well, when he said he would only do 8 billion, he was lying. They can do probably 12 to 15. So this whole arena, and that was just a generic example, but that whole arena, sure, this is applicable in areas. I'm a master negotiator. The amount of negotiation courses and training that I've gone through, like, I cannot, oh my God.
You can't lose,
first
right?
of all,
You can't lose, just like DJ.
Let me give, if you're listening to this right now, listen to me. Seriously, human watching or listening to this right now. I'm not encouraging you. I'm telling you for your benefit. I want you have to go take a negotiation course, watch videos on negotiation, and read a book on negotiation. I don't care what industry you're in. I don't care if you're married or single. I don't care anything about this. It will absolutely change your life, and it will make you definitely, I can't say the exact number. It could be tens of thousands of dollars, probably, most likely. It could be hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars, depending on, your personal life. But I highly recommend everyone do it. I remember somebody wanted to charge me this monthly fee, and they contacted me because they were raising their fees using the skill set that I learned. I got them to lower their fees.
That's awesome.
The first negotiation course paid for itself within a month. Like, you got to do it. So anyway,
You
Any
know what?
books
You
you
know,
would
Wayne, that's
recommend?
crazy. I love that stuff. I do that stuff all the time. So I've done the Chris Voss masterclass
oh
already
yeah,
3 different times, literally
yep.
3 times. I've loved it so much that I'm like, I'm going to do this again. But
You
it
have
is so genius. It's everything that I already love in it. I love psychology and philosophy and stuff, right? It's the simplest things in life. Like, I'll tell you one that's like completely changed my life. If you ask a question, that ends with a no, you can get anything you want, right? So you go
so
home and
hey,
try.
Davin, would you be opposed to telling us that?
Exactly. You got it, right? You guys could go, Natalie, go to your husband tonight and be like, hey, do you want McDonald's tonight? He's gonna be like, no, like whatever. Ask the exact same question. Hey, would you be opposed to getting McDonald's tonight? Well, no, I guess I wouldn't be opposed. Like it's a really tiny little, I mean, this is one of like so many cool
I
things.
know. I'm
With,
glad you took
you know what
those
I mean? And I'm
courses, bro.
so freaking fascinated with
It
like,
is. You guys
you
got to
know,
do this. I'm telling you, it sounds like, well, niche and weird. I mean, put it this way. Here's what I want you guys to do. Take a negotiation course, use the skills, and when you have your first win, email me or hit me up on social media and let me know. And I guarantee you're going to be writing me a message. How about that? There's value for the
I'll take
listeners.
that bet. Hey, do you
Do
have
it.
any books that you would
Do it.
recommend?
I mean, there's on negotiation, there's millions. I
Yeah.
mean, put it this way, what I would do is do a live course, and some of these things are an investment in money, but you're gonna make the money back, I promise you. There's the Chris Voss thing, there's the Karis course on negotiation. If you read airline magazines that are in the seat back pocket, that they have their ads in there all the time, but those two, just start there. You'll get enough information with those courses right there, or any books by both of them, Chris Voss or Chester Karis. Do one of those two. Plethora of information, tons of books, videos, courses.
Chris Voss is the best. I just love. He's an FBI master negotiator, and he's just got the the voice is just the voice inflection. I've learned so much, and the best thing about it is it's not like, honestly, there's times where like Cece has gotten like because she's known that she'd see me take the course or whatever, and she's like, dude, you're freaking using that on me right now. Like it's not, but it's like you don't use it for manipulation. You use it because like it's like you said,
Yeah, it's using psychology for, I don't want to say
literally
entertainment, but for, manifesting what you want to see in the world.
it's ahead of way.
So on the
What's up?
topic of books,
Hello.
on the topics of books, I actually just bought your book. You want to tell us a little bit about
You
it?
did. Oh,
I
well,
did, I
first of
bought it.
all, thanks for buying the book. And I hope it gives you some fun little paradigm shifts, and I'm sure it
I want to
will.
buy it. What is the book?
So the title of the book is Mind Candy. I named it the
Okay.
same title as the show.
And
Just
can I
to
get it
keep-
on Amazon? Or
Yep,
where can we
it's-
buy it?
Can.
It's on Amazon, and you can get it on Apple Books through that app. You can find it anywhere where excellent books are sold. But it's called Mind Candy. The subtitle is The Power and Potential of the Human Mind. So the book teaches a 4-step process that I discovered. Yep, that's it right there. Yep. It teaches a 4-step process that I discovered I was using my whole life to achieve goals and make things happen. So, and I'm using, my own experience from this. I grew up in Pennsylvania, in one of the poorest cities in the United States of America. My mom was a waitress. My dad worked in an aluminum foundry. And I had nothing. I had no connections. I had no money. We weren't poor by any means. We were just scraping by, hand-me-down clothes vibe. I wasn't living on the streets, but we weren't wealthy. And I just had this passion for magic. And as a kid, I told everyone, I said, one day I'm going to travel around the world, and I'm going to read people's minds, and I'm going to do magic, and I'm going to be on every major TV network in the US, and I'm going to be touring the world, and I'm going to do this. And everyone thought I was crazy. Fast forward, and I did all those things, and I pulled it off. So I was performing on a TV show in Japan, and after the show, I met this guy, and he said, how did you do it? And he said, I don't mean the tricks. He means the accomplishing this as a weird job. Like if I told anybody out here, go be a mind reader, good luck, and make a living doing it and then thrive doing it, good luck. So I told him I didn't know. I was like, I really don't know how I did it. So I started to think, and I remember we were in Japan overlooking this water on this hilltop, and I told him, I was kind of explaining my philosophy on life and how I view accomplishing goals. And he's like, bro, you need to write a book. I'm like, I'm not writing a book, man. Like, nah. And then he later wrote me a letter, which is in the beginning of the book, and he encouraged me to write it. So I sat down and I was like, how did I do it? And I realized I was following a 4-step process to achieving the goals. And I just did the same thing over and over and over. I mean, I remember watching the Ellen DeGeneres show, and I said, I'm going to be on that show one day. Fast forward, I'm sitting in the chair next to Ellen, and she's interviewing me, and I was in my TV, and it's all because of this process that I followed. So I put that process in the book, and I didn't do it for profit. I did not write, I'm not an author, okay? I didn't write this book to make money. I wrote this book because I knew it could change people's lives. And the amount of messages that I get, and I mean, LinkedIn messages and emails. I had a guy tell me, he wrote me a message. He said, I saw you do, because now I do a keynote based upon everything that's in the book. So I travel around to corporations and I speak to teams. Like I just did 1-800-GOT-JUNK in Vancouver, Canada. They had, 1,000 people there. And the founder, he was like, I want you to preach this to my people, and I presented it for a mastermind group at MIT. And I go around the world giving this keynote now because the stuff that's in it is so powerful. Anyway, I get this message and he's like, I saw you give your keynote based on all the stuff in the book in Pakistan. He goes, I'm a lowly AI enthusiast from Pakistan, and I saw you give this presentation. He said, my dream was always to speak at the UN about AI. He goes, it only took me 6 weeks after following these 4 steps to be on stage in Geneva speaking at the UN. And I've had people email me and tell me that they found the person that the love of their life using this process. I had a guy, actually, I don't want to say the company, but a Hollywood company that is, let's just say, doing big things in Hollywood. No one knows this, but they were on the verge of shutting down. And the owner of the company happened to see me give this keynote based upon the stuff in the book, went back to his team, used the principles in the book. He was going to have to lay everyone off, everyone. And he laid off 0 people, and it saved his company. And so again, you can see I'm getting very passionate about this. Everything in that book is just the things that I learned over time through experience and my viewpoint that allowed me to get on television, make millions of dollars, travel the world, and essentially live the life that I am living now, which is exactly what I set out to do. So that's it. I'll get off my soap.
I love it. Hey, don't you think that's why? I mean, you and I were like, I know we feel the same way. Like we connected so quick and so instantly, but there's so many things I would think about. That when The Secret came out, I was like, dude, this is what I've been trying to tell you guys. Like, and I had like a double VHS. I had it on a VHS tape, and I would like put a blank VHS tape to try to record it. Like, I was like, dude, like, this is what I've been trying to tell you. They put it together. Like one of the first tattoos I have on my chest, I think, therefore I am. I'm like, if you think you're a loser, you're a freaking loser, dude. If you think you're like the greatest, like, if I would have gone, I bet if I was like 12 years old and I said, I think I'm going to be a billionaire. I never wanted to be a billionaire. I never cared to be a billionaire. I just wanted to be freaking awesome. But if that was what I'm like, that's what I'm going to be, like, I would have done it. You know what I mean?
So now here's the thing. You're right. Now here's what I discovered. A lot of people that are left brain and engineers and scientists, they're going to hear us talking like that. And they're going to be like, this is woo woo. Like this guy, these are hippie fucking weed smoking, like, people that just are whacked out, whatever. And I get it, because there's no, like, that what you're saying isn't scientific, but here's the fact of the matter. It's just not being presented that way. So what I did in the book was I combined productivity hacks with the art of manifestation to make it tactical, where you had doable actions that you could take, and it made sense from a business and productivity standpoint. Because let's face it, if you go into the middle of the woods, let's say you're the greatest singer in the world, right? And you want to be touring the world as a singer. If you went into the woods and just sat under a tree for 20 years, eating berries off the ground and drinking rainwater, and didn't interact with humans, would you go on tour around the world singing and selling tickets? No, because you have to take actions and interact with other humans, and you have to do it in a way, you know, a certain way, and have a certain mentality. So that's what I did in the book. Because bro, you're on it. You nailed it. It is manifestation, but manifestation isn't woo woo. It's not psychic energy flowing through the cosmos of none of that, man. It's how do I interact with humans, and how do I reframe my perspective on things in order to make things happen. And so that's it, man. You nailed it. But yeah, I think we vibe like that for sure, man. That definitely.
sure.
That isn't that like such a Hollywood like thing,
Is
like
it?
vibing
It
over
might be.
manifestation, and then like touring the world and being on TV. Like, dude, you were touring in your band. You know, like it's so Hollywood, it's ridiculous.
It might be kind of Hollywood. I married a guy from Iowa who is the guy who would need the tactical, I call it Beetlejuicing things into life. That's what my kids call it. You know, when we want something, we just Beetlejuice it into life. But
That's great.
I honestly remember when Channon found out about The Secret and she was like, oh my God, you guys, this book, I feel like it was such a like mind-opening thing for everybody here. And I feel like at least the three of us we've
literally
all been
changed
that
my
way.
life.
Same.
Yeah. But I feel
Yeah,
like it
and
is
some of the-
science. There's definitely science. Like, just like the law of gravity, there's the law of attraction. I feel like people, once they realize that, they're like, oh yeah, it's not so woo-woo. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I think, I think that's really cool. So can we do like one more magic thing, or not magic thing, but like, can you do the thing
Can you
that,
blow her mind,
sorry, my
please?
ADD is like, my
Right.
ADD is like, okay, done with that conversation. I got bored with my own conversation. But the thing that you do where you, like, can read someone's mind about, like, and you write it down on paper.
Well, how about this? Before I even do anything, if you were to travel somewhere right now, all expenses paid, on a free vacation, tell us, where would you want to go?
Where would I want to go?
Yeah.
Like, say it out loud.
Yeah.
Sweden.
All right. Now imagine you're there and you go into a hotel. Try to picture what it would look like. What's your imaginary hotel room number in Sweden? Make up a number and just say it out loud.
Okay, 16.
Okay, is 16 important to you, like a lucky number, or is it something significant to you, or no? Okay, I'm gonna show you this. I've had my wallet sitting on my desk here this whole time. Now, I put it in my wallet so you know there was no tricky business or sleight of hand, but in my wallet here, I don't want to show my license on the camera, but here behind my driver's license is this piece of paper. Now, I put it pinned up in here so you know there was no funny business. Give me a second. Now, don't take your eyes off of this. I want you to make sure you can see it's actually in the plastic, right?
Yeah, I see it in the plastic. For those that are listening and not watching, he's got his wallet out and he's pulling out a piece of paper that just has been in his wallet.
License.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
now he's
I wanted it
using it.
really sealed away because I wrote
Okay.
something down earlier that you might find interesting. I wrote down Sweden 16.
Oh my fucking God, are you kidding me?
I love it.
How? Like, I honestly, like, there's not even time to have like written that down and put it in your fucking wallet. Like, fucking, like, seriously, that's insane.
I've known her 20
That's
years, and I never
crazy.
would have guessed she wanted to go to Sweden.
Dude, I'm hiring you for all my fucking parties, like, here on out.
I love you guys.
People want to hire you. Is that something that you do? If
Yeah,
other
so you
people
know
wanna
what's
go with
funny?
you?
I always have these wild conversations about me doing all this stuff, and then but people don't realize, like, this is my job, like, this is my profession. And people often ask me, they're like, wait, okay, you're like this mind reader, but like, how do you earn a living? What do you do? Like, what's your thing? So what I do is I perform in different markets and get paid to do my show and my keynote now. So I do a show for corporate events, like if a company's having a national sales meeting, or like, your president's circle awards, the incentive meeting for the top earners of the company, or these annual events, and they need entertainment. So they'll give away their awards or do the meeting or a conference or trade show, and then they'll have me come in and perform. So I do that, and I perform at theaters, performing arts centers, Ticketmaster events around the world. And that's how I earn my living. And I do roving entertainment. So like cocktail hour, when people are just showing up, I just walk around and freak people out. I tell them how much money is in their wallet. I change the time on their iPhone. I guess their phone passcodes. So I type in their phone passcodes, all
my
of these
God.
crazy things, just casually intermingling with people. And then I do the stage show, of course. And then I actually own an entertainment agency. While I lived in Hollywood, I launched Hoffman Entertainment. So now we are a global entertainment agency that books bands, comedians, DJs. We do middle agenting for, major celebrity acts at arenas. And we are now also fully producing events from the ground up, staging, LED walls, AV, indoor drone shows, lasers. We do the PowerPoint presentations for executives, branding, and we're doing some of the biggest companies in the world. We just did it for Home Depot, Napa Auto Parts. We did stuff for TikTok, Google, Louis Vuitton, Spotify. I mean, you name it, we've worked for them. So yeah, but that's how I earn my money. So if you're listening or watching this, if you have a company you work for, tell them, hey, call the events team and say, hey, are we having any upcoming events? Get this guy.
I've been trying to get Wayne for years. I mean, I can get him on a random Tuesday,
I'm just booked every year,
he's in town, right? But I'm like, dude, I'm gonna have like the company Wyndham. They make billions of dollars, so they're gonna pay you a lot of money. But he's in Dubai and Abu Dhabi, performing for princes right now and freaking kings somewhere. And then I'm like, well, nope, he's gonna be. So you got to catch him at the right time because he's just somewhere around the world doing something.
It's so fun though, bro. I
you
love
live
it.
a really fun life.
It's cool. I did 9 new countries in December. And it was in 3.5 weeks. I hit 9 new countries, and it was
Wait,
it was
how many
wild.
kids do you have?
I have 3 kids.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
how old are they?
So 11, 6, and my son. Actually, today is his birthday. He just turned 3.
Hey, happy birthday!
Happy birthday.
Yeah. So we celebrated all day yesterday and all day today. So we're coming into the evening now, and yeah. So yeah, I have 3 kids, and yeah, we live an
Happily
untraditional
married?
lifestyle.
What is it? Are they homeschooled?
So my oldest daughter, who's 11, she is homeschooled. And then the 2 little ones have been traveling with us for, because they were so young, they weren't in school. But now, the 3-year-old is not in school. But now my son has just entered, he just completed kindergarten. And so we are going through a traditional schooling system. And what I'm doing now is really doubling down on my entertainment agency, finding the best acts in the world and bringing them on and representing them and helping them get booked so that I don't personally trade my time for money. I'm helping other artists now with all my experience in touring and managing other acts and knowing the booking process in different markets. I'm helping other people. I got up there so I can be home more. But with that said, we just spent a lot of time in Italy. We were traveling around Italy, and the kids love traveling. I mean, they're the most traveled children in the world. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's so awesome.
That's
I love
the best education you can get.
The
That
best,
education is
That's why I feel
literally
like-
priceless.
Like most people I know. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, yeah, I love what you said though about just helping people, right? Like everyone knows I'm a big book reader, and I've read 3 times already The Go-Giver, and it's like one of my favorite. Like, the more you give, the more you receive. Literally, you just give without wanting to receive, without intentions of receiving. You just give, and guess what? Everything comes together, and it all
100%.
comes full circle. And it's all about, dude, helping and giving. You know what I mean? Like, that's what life should be. Dude, do you think I would have made it on that trip that you were in, like Dubai and Abu Dhabi and all that stuff? I was thinking to myself, what if I was there with Wayne?
Bro,
First of all,
no way, bro. You'd be in a prison faster than you could say abracadabra, bro. You would be in a prison so fast, bro. By the way, again, if you don't know Davin, dude, just like, I mean, dude, now listen, I gotta tell you, if you were partying with Davin in Hollywood in the days that I was there, and you look where he is now as a human being, you would never in a million. First of all, I thought you would not be alive by now. He is
All of us.
he was like the party god, you know what I mean? And dude, you're a great dad, and I watch your stuff on social media, and you're just organized, top of the game, doing what you're doing. But you're still a wild child, brother. You're living life to the beat of your own drum. So when you get into areas where that's not really legally acceptable, don't worry, bro. I'd hypnotize them to let you out, though. You'd be safe.
There you go. Yeah.
You have to travel with Wayne
Exactly.
now. You
Yeah,
can't travel without him, right, DJ? You're like, we have to take Wayne with us now everywhere we go.
there are
Like,
perks,
we can
those
travel.
free
He's like our
upgrades.
ticket out.
Absolutely.
So Wayne, before we go, what is your main goal, like for
Yeah.
your professional life, going out for the rest of this year?
Thanks. What a great question. And it's always a good reminder to think about these things. So I remember sitting in Hollywood in my apartment at the time, and I had hit a plateau. I had accomplished every single goal that I set out to achieve, which was like a really weird feeling. And it was almost depressing. So I always set new goals for myself, right? Because you have to. Otherwise, once you hit the top, like, what are you doing? Like, where do you go from there? And it kind of takes the wind out of your sails if you don't have a goal. So again, I hit another plateau. I just keep doing it. So I realized, I was like, well, I want to create a new thing. And I said, well, what have I wanted that I haven't created to this point? And I realized, I have done so many shows around, other productions, the Today Show and Fool Us and Masters of Illusion and the Ellen DeGeneres and on and on and on and on. But I never had my own show, and I never had creative control over everything that took place. I couldn't present my art. You have to remember, even though it's a performance art, what I'm doing is an art form, and any artist wants to showcase in its purest form what they do. So I contacted a production company. Through a mutual friend, we were introduced, a CAA repped production company, totally legit. They have stuff on Netflix right now. And I pitched a show idea and they loved it. So my goal right now is to get my own show. And I'm working on that right now. We're kind of coming to the end phase of the pitching process. And listen, I'll be frank, I let off the gas on social media probably at the worst time possible. Between like 2008 and 2012, I was giving away boob jobs and giving away trips to Aruba, giving away trips to party with me in Vegas, and like putting stuff online and interacting. And then I kind of let off the gas, because then I got into the work mode and I was on tour, and I kind of let social media fall by the wayside. But we're at the point now, he's like, basically, he goes, bro, you have everything. The idea and the concept for the show is great. There's going to be interest in it. You have a track record for television. He said, I think the only thing you're missing is your social media. So right now I'm opening that door again, and I'm going to be posting riddles, giving away awesome prizes. If you can solve the riddle that I post on social media, you're going to be I gave away a trip to Egypt, wild stuff. And that's it. So right now I'm just going to start posting.
Channon can help you with that. Channon is the master. She literally has classes on this. Like,
well, what? Here's the thing. I'm going to provide value to anybody. Everybody wants a social media following, but what I realize is I have a really wild job, and I can provide value through entertainment. And so if somebody does watch my content and follow me, they're going to see some wild shit. At minimum, you're going to get free entertainment. So that's it. My goal right now is to let people know I exist, do some wacky shit on social media so people have fun when they're watching me, and then get my own show, because I think I just want to present the ideas that I have in my mind to people. In the way that I see it. So that's it.
Nobody deserves it more than you. I'm manifesting it right now with you, and
we don't even need to manifest it. It's gonna happen. It's already happening.
It's gonna happen. It's already gonna happen.
Isn't it weird?
It's just, when is it gonna happen, right?
We're gonna look back on this video.
Yeah.
Right.
We're gonna look back on this video and be like, yeah, we knew back then. Because it's already in the ether. And it's just a matter of timing. The networks have to want the type of show that I'm creating.
Yeah.
At that time, and it just has to be good timing. But it'll happen. I'm just waiting for the rest of the world to catch up.
I love that. So can I give you
Well,
unsolicited social media advice?
Oh, yeah, please do.
Okay. So this was something I was actually going to have ask you to do here, but instead, to try to push our followers over to your social media. With Halloween coming up, I was going to say, is there something, like a little something that literally you can teach the audience to do that is something that you have experience with, that doesn't take a long time to learn, as a mini baby mentalist? Like, you can teach them a little trick to do to freak out their friends, you know?
Oh, yeah,
And
certainly.
so make a video doing something like that, like something simple, that literally anybody could do. That's not going to take 25 years to learn.
Yeah,
Do you
of
know?
course. Oh, I have a
Yeah,
ton of
and
those.
teach
Yeah.
them for Halloween coming up. It could be something spooky. So everybody go to Wayne's social media. We're going to put it here up on the screen and also down in the description. And if you're listening to this, it'll be in the show notes, because he's going to be posting a video. We don't know when, but it's going to be coming. He's going to agree on this show right now that he's going to post something so that you go follow him so that he can show you how to do that. That would
It'll
be
be
really
up
cool.
by the time you're watching or listening to this. How about that? And I'm
I
not
love
going to
it.
give you some BS stuff. I'll give you a good one. Don't worry.
Awesome. I love
Right.
that. I love that. So before
Well,
we
you
go, is there
definitely just got a
anything
new
that you'd like
follower.
to leave? Oh, yeah, yeah. I know. I followed you today too. I was like, oh my gosh, I have to follow him. Yeah, you're just amazing. Well, not only are you freaking so good at what you I would argue to say the best at what you do, in the world, but also you're so inspiring. You know what I mean? And
Oh, well,
so I feel
thanks.
yeah, even if people listening are I'm not really into magic or I don't know, mentalist stuff, he's super inspiring. So everybody should be following him.
No, thanks for saying that. I appreciate that,
Yeah, no,
because I
sure.
realized something a little late, and it is this. I think it goes beyond just performing. I'm at the point now where I'm getting so much fulfillment from helping people, and from doing my keynote and helping people accomplish goals, and finding their passion in life. So thanks for saying that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, I love it. And I'm looking forward to your next book too, because I feel like that's going to be a good one. So before we leave, are there any little sound bites you want to leave us with, or anything that you want to say before you go?
Yes, absolutely. And this is probably one of the most beneficial things I can tell your listener. One of the ways that I've created success in my life is a simple thing that you can do as well. And that is this: realize that yes lives in a world of no. You can't have one without the other. And people fear no and they hate no because as a child, you realize, every time you heard no, you had a bad feeling because you couldn't eat the candy, couldn't have the cookie. But what I did was I changed my relationship completely with the word no, and I started loving hearing the word no. Not just not hating it, but actually embracing, loving hearing no. So every time I go out into the world, I see how many no's I can hear, because the more no's you get in life, the more yeses you will get as well. It's basic math. So I encourage everybody listening, put in your calendar at least once a month, if maybe once a week, collect 5 no's today. And what you do is go in with the intention to hear no and ask for things that you want. It doesn't have to be financial. You could ask for a free cup of coffee. You could ask for someone to mentor you. You could ask for someone to give you some free advice. You could ask for a book. You could ask for that deal if you're working in a certain industry and you think, man, if I landed this deal with this company, go ask for it. Because a lot of the time we don't ask for the things that we want in life. And we always know that giving, as we mentioned earlier, giving is the best way to receive. But in order to give, someone needs to receive. So why would you rob someone the opportunity to help you out? So I say, go collect as many no's as you can, do it without emotion, and go ask the universe for what you want.
I love that.
So
I love that
powerful. I
so
love it.
much. Yeah. We
I'm
are
gonna feel so
I mean,
good
I think I
now.
speak for all of us when I say we are so grateful that you've taken time out of your busy day to come and be on our show. So thank you so much. We are beyond grateful. I'm sure,
Thank you.
Natty.
My pleasure.
It truly was
Yeah, I'm
such an
sure she wanted
honor,
to
and
say
I
thank you.
feel
Everyone wants to say
smarter
thank you,
after
but
this conversation.
yeah, thank you so much. And we cannot wait to be watching your show that's going to be coming up, because I could just feel it. I know it's already happening. I could
Oh,
feel it.
thanks
It's
so much.
happening.
Your positive energy is flowing through my veins right now. So I
Okay, good.
appreciate
I
it.
hope
You'll
I'm
juice
giving
it
you
all
all the
into
good
life.
vibes, like all the positive
And
good vibes and energy.
well, right back at you.
Yeah,
Well, thank you
awesome.
so much.
All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much. Thanks for watching. We are sending you all of our love and all of our positive energy, and we hope to see you on our next show.
Love you guys.
Love you.
Thank you.
Bye, Wayne. Thank you.
Yep.
Bye.
See
Thank
ya.
you so
Of
much.
course. Thank
Later,
you again.
dude.
Good seeing you, Davin, as always,
Yeah.
my brother.